Hello and welcome back to another FIFA Career Mode League guide. Today we're going to England and the Premier League. As you can probably tell from my voice, this is my home nation, so hopefully I can go a bit more in depth than I have with other nations in the past. Because of this, I'm going to try something different, and I think I'm going to split the transfer section out of this video and make a separate one where I'll go in depth at every single club in the Premier League. Right, let's get started with the squad rules. So, before Brexit happens on January the 1st of Season 1, you're allowed unlimited amounts of non-EU players in your squad. You can see that most squads already start off this way with very few English players, but after January 1st of Season 1, you're only allowed a maximum of 17 non-UK players. Ireland counts as the UK for this rule, but of course they're a different country in real life. This isn't too hard of a rule to follow, you just need to have 8 English players in your squad. Or alternatively, you can register 17 players instead of the maximum of 25 and use these 8 slots as blanks, which counts as UK players. So you can see from these rules that having under 21 English players is very useful. Of course, that's one of the nations you should scout in your youth academy, but who else is very popular in the Premier League at the moment? So, the top 10 is England, France, Spain, Brazil, Ireland, Portugal, Scotland, Netherlands, Belgium and Wales. Of course, the two easiest ones if you're a lower team is Scotland and Wales. They'll be very cheap and also will be fairly realistic. But the more successful of a team you pick, the more likely you are to be scouting Spain or France or Brazil or Portugal for your young players. Scouting one of these 10 is fairly easy. It doesn't matter too much who you pick, so just pick 3. Preferably one of them should be England because that'll help you with the squad rules. But who else you pick doesn't really matter. You can even justify scouting Poland or Australia, New Zealand, Canada, United States, any of these sort of fairly common nationalities that you can find in the UK, and even nations like Romania or Nigeria, they're fairly popular in the UK too. So you can see the Premier League has fairly relaxed rules for scouting and for the squad rules. But for the player rules it's the same too. Champions League teams can really have any rating of player. Europa League tend to max out around 85 rated. The mid-table teams have an 82 or an 83, for example Zaha at Crystal Palace, and the Relegation Fodder, they really struggle to have above an 80, so the likes of West Brom and Sheffield. So now you have a good team, you've got a youth academy and you know what kind of players you should be signing, but who are you going to pick to be your team? If you want a very easy career mode, pick Liverpool or Man City. They have the best squads in the league by far, they have a ton of names that you'll know and really good youth players already. Beyond this, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, you've got Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal and Manchester United. These all have very high reputation players, quite a big budget, and they'll also have good youth players coming through. The best of the rest teams in the Premier League are the likes of Leicester, Wolves and Everton. Most of these teams will have 3 or 4 standout top 6 level players, the likes of Vardy and Ndidi, Neves and Moutinho, or James and Richarlison. But the real challenge with these teams is to try and make the rest of the team as strong as they are, and then hopefully get into the top 6 and European football. There's a couple of very historic teams who haven't really done that much in the Premier League recently, the likes of Villa, Newcastle and West Ham. And if you want to know a bit more about Newcastle's history, I've done a video on them which I'll link in the description. But West Ham claim to be responsible for England's 1966 World Cup victory, because quite a few of the players came through their youth academy and played for them at some point. Villa were very big in the 80s, and they managed to stay in the top half of the Premier League until the late 2000s, at which point they fell away and found themselves relegated into the Championship. And finally, we have the 2 Road to Glory teams in the Premier League. For me, I've chosen them both from Yorkshire. It's Leeds United and Sheffield United. They've both come up from the Championship in recent years. This is Leeds' first season in the Premier League for almost 20 years, and Sheffield's exploits last year earned them a lot of plaudits, but they're not doing so well this year, so their challenge is to turn them around before it's too late. Every single team in the Premier League has their own stadium licensed in game, except for Leeds, who are being added with an update pretty soon. So no matter who you choose to play as, you'll be playing at different stadiums each week. And because of this, there's quite a few stadiums in the Championship too, so they're more likely teams to get promoted, the likes of Watford, Bournemouth. They're going to have real stadiums when they get promoted as well. I hope this shorter version of my videos actually helped you choose a team in the Premier League. If you want to know a bit more about any team, I'm going to be doing a follow-up video where I'll do about a minute on each team and let you know exactly who you should be signing, what kind of team they are, what their fans are, what their reputations are to a non-Premier League fan. So if you're looking forward to that, feel free to subscribe and you'll get a notification when it's uploaded. But that's everything for today, so thank you for watching and goodbye.